So I slept on it. I ate my breakfast, drinking my coffee. It's a brand new day. And I just want to say, Cierra, you're weird. First of all, hey y'all, it's Ali. I am a social media commentator. No, I don't have any credentials. I'm just a rapper like you guys, just putting a label on it. Let's jump right into this video, shall we? So, we all saw Cierra's like 4-part Q&A from yesterday, right? She talked about Huda. She talked about a few other things, and she addressed Alandria in like a almost 10-minute video. And there was a few things that she said that really threw me off, because like I said, I had to sleep on it, right? And I just want to say, first and foremost, she addressed everything but what the actual audience wanted to know, right? And I already made a little video about that, but there's one thing before I actually jump into my issue with what she said, like one of the main issues of what I said, right? So there's one audience question, right? A question that the audience actually had that she just never decided to address that I think was really interesting. So Cierra, if you really saw Alandria to be your best friend, one of your closest friends in the villa, why would you stand behind the man that did her dirty? You said you did it for Nick, right? But if I can remember correctly, you voted against Nick's votes before, right? You had no issue standing behind Huda when Nick wanted Huda to go home. So what was different about now? No answer. You want to circle back around that? Okay, that's fine. Either way, so at the end of your video, right, about Alandria, you say how two things could be true at once. You say that you are happy for the pair. You just feel like but you also have the right to mourn for what you and Nick had. Okay, that's cool. You also state that outside the villa, you expected for Nick and Alandria to embrace you somehow. You were hoping, not expecting, you were hoping for them to embrace you. And when that never happened, you just felt really shitty. You felt really bad about that, right? Okay, so here's my issue, right? And this is Keke Palmer, right? Shelly speaks up and she states that you actually communicated and reached out to her, right? And you guys had a conversation about what happened and everything, and how Shelly pretty much was like, yeah, I hope that, she's good, she's a good person, yada, 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 right? So you initiated communication with Shelly. Why didn't you initiate communication with Alandria and Nick? Right? So, and that's what's interesting, right? So you, of course, you and Shelly, you reach out to her, you're making sure that she's good and everything. Cool and done, right? But you don't do this to your close friend Alandria, right? Alandria, who was definitely experiencing a lot of racism and hatred towards her, right? And mind you, I'm sure you're very aware of what was going on because you were out of the villa for a full week even before Alandria was, right? And the reason why I am making this assumption, because I'll admit that it isn't an assumption, is because you were definitely scrolling through Nick Alandria edits. I mean, you made a post or a comment on somebody's post pretty much saying, what is to be is meant to be in regards to you and Nick, right? On a Nick Alandria post. Yeah, so that was really interesting. So you are definitely scrolling through chronologically online people in regards to the shippers. So I'm sure you've definitely come across a lot of Alandria hate. And if that was the case, why didn't you communicate first? Why did you not initiate a conversation between you and your best friend on the show, at least, or between you and your close friend on the show? Why would you not do that for somebody that you care about? I mean, why would it be Alandria to reach out to you first? I mean, think about it, right? Alandria was receiving a lot of hate. Her TikTok account was hacked by a crazy Huda fan, right? And then in between all this, she just found out that people have literally put her and Huda's face on George Floyd, her face on George Floyd, and Huda's face on the cop that killed him. She was going through quite a bit. She was dealing with a lot, so much so that she admitted that in an interview with her and Nick, that Nick sometimes had to literally take her phone away from her because of all the negativity and the hatred that was pushed upon her. Like, come on. Come on. I'm sure you were aware of quite literally a lot of this. There was no way that you were only like engaging in Nick Alandria edits and stuff, but you weren't paying attention to the actual hate that your supposed close friend was receiving. And then, like with Nick is also dealing with quite a bit. I mean, him and his connection are like literally one of the most popular ships out there in regards to this season of Love Island, right? He's trying to figure all that out. He's trying to feed the fans. He doesn't want to disappoint anybody and everything. He's trying to also protect Alandria in regards to all the hate that she's receiving, right? He's in this connection. He's building this connection with this girl that has a lot of hatred coming towards her. He's very protective over her. Why would he, for even a moment, think of you when all that's going on, especially within the first week of them being outside the villa? And I don't mean to be harsh about that, right? I mean, I think that at some point he definitely said that he wanted to have a conversation with you and that he wanted to definitely, like, talk to you and communicate with you eventually, but he wanted to focus on him and Alandria. And when you think about when he said that and why he said that, this was during the peak of them being outside the villa and Alandria facing all that hatred, him also facing a lot of hatred about him not going home with you, you know, about him supposedly being this huge fuckboy, this huge player boy, you know. To make things messier, right, you make that whole 9-minute plus video about you and Nick and about Nick Olandria and how you're feeling and everything, which is fine. But then we find out literally hours later that you blocked his sister, Nick's sister, Ella, that you straight up just blocked her. Why? I don't think we will ever know, because from what I'm gathering, Ella's sister was always nice to you, was always respectful to you, you know? She just really liked Alandria, right? Being with Nick. It was that simple from what I'm gathering. I don't think she said anything too crazy. She was very cordial when you and Nick were coupled up, right? She would have rooted for anybody that Nick got with. I mean, I know she literally states this while you were on the show with Nick, that she's rooting for anybody that Nick's with as long as he's happy. Only for you, literally, to block her, like, after the fact. That's weird. We can agree that's weird. So if you think after you blocking his sister that Nick would even feel the need to be cordial and have a conversation with you, I am so sorry, sis, but I think you have another thing coming. More than likely, he's going to be completely silent when it comes down to you. As a matter of fact, I doubt that he probably will even want to have a conversation with you after that. And I hate to tell you, but I think at that point, after you decide to block his sister over some petty shit, then it is what it is. It really is. That's only just the tip of how weird your explanation and your answers were in regards to your Nick Alandria video. I mean, I still have a feeling, or I still have issues with you using the term relationship when you yourself in the villa admitted that you and Nick were not boyfriend and girlfriend. That's one. Questioning Nick more on his answers when it came down to you and his connection. For example, the whole, are you saying I'm your dream girl? Girl, what the fuck was that about? Was that edited? Like, what the hell?
I told you that my ideal date would be a picnic. It was more like a dream that I never knew would happen.
Aww, and here we are. Are you saying I'm your dream girl? Basically.
Another thing that was crazy was the whole Nick saying, you're the girl that, and you know, Taylor's like the guy for Alandria. You see how he didn't finish that sentence? Can you explain to me what was going through your head when that happened? Were you pretty much still in denial, or were you so high on like you and Nick being around each other? Did you not question that? Did you not sleep on it and then wake up and go like, wait, because I would have. That's crazy. That's crazy. You definitely had on those rose-colored glasses, girl. That's all I can say.